Hello, welcome to the Critical Obsession podcast. My name is Mirella,
And I'm Zoe.
and today we're going to watch and talk about episode 8 of Vice Versa. It's been such a long time.
I know, I was going to say, don't kill me, like, I don't remember anything. Although we did just have a conversation about how I don't remember anything at the moment anyway, but, like,
Well,
I'm like, it's been forever.
it's good that they have previews. We can watch the preview.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, where it has, like, the previously on. Yeah, normally that annoys the crap out of me, but today it will probably be my best friend. I was also just saying to Morella before as well, like, because I, queued up the first part, and I've got it on a playlist, and so I saw the thumbnail for part 3, and I'm like, oh, Perth. I do remember you telling me that Perth was in this series, but I've forgotten, so I'm like, yay!
This is a nice episode. The good things are happening. Like, there are some moments that are really, really, really cute. And
hang on. I'm remembering things. Yeah, because the last episode was the big dramatic, thing in front of the company, wasn't it? The I like you kind of a, like, confession, sort of, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm back up to speed now. So this is the, like, tentatively dating, I'm guessing, is it?
We'll see.
Episode. Oh, so mysterious.
All right then, let's go watch it.
Okay, let's do it.
Part 1. So when I started watching it, I realized I've missed them so much.
It was funny because the first thing I did was have a trauma flashback from last episode when the voices were out of sync.
Oh, yeah, I did have that too.
Yeah, and I was like, thank goodness that's over. But yeah, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, when I was watching the, previously on or whatever. And then my notes for this section are very minimal, which I'm concerned about because my memory is not great at the moment. But one of the first things I wanted to say is C looks really good in the first scene. Like, with his red pants and everything, he just looks very nice. He's wearing those clothes really good. It's very superficial, but he looks very nice in that first scene.
Well, no, I don't think it's superficial. It's just, one must appreciate the beauty in the world, and he is a beauty in the world.
I feel like we've talked about this before. I feel like he puts a lot of, all of these guys put a lot of effort in, taking care of themselves and all the rest of it. So let's just appreciate their effort.
Yeah.
I'm appreciating the effort of the costume, designer. The fact that the stylist who put him in those pants and that top.
Yeah.
They did a good job.
They did a good job. So,
yeah.
Tale talks to the brother, right? We understand that he decided to work on the project again, and so they're about to have a meeting with the board and see if they accept to invest into this project. And he's concerned.
Well, he already sort of has that insight, doesn't he, that they're not really that interested.
Yeah, that's right. And then Prin appears, and he's back to his usual playful self. And he's saying all these nice things. I'm not letting you fight alone. We're going to work together, and blah, blah, blah. I found him saying he's not your dad. He's Tess's dad. Like, you're so into being Tess these days. Interesting.
Well, it's funny because he says about he's going to war and he's like, my dad's in there, and he's like, he's not your dad. And I felt like it was such a weird thing for him to point that out, because you would think out of everybody he would want Tale to absorb Tess, essentially. Like, if he doesn't want to go back, then it's good. Like, the further Tale slips into Tess's life, the better. So the fact that he pointed that out to Tale and made him think about it was odd. I found that odd as well. I was like, why are you I'm like, shh.
Yeah,
But
because
of course,
then
obviously, drama story. Like, obviously, there's a reason. But yeah, it was interesting.
yeah, and then
I
he
loved the
says,
line.
"When there's you, where there's you,
Yeah,
there's me." And Tale looks
I know.
so in love and like he's dazed. And
Yeah, I love that line. And then like he
yeah.
goes, "How lucky you are! I'm envious of you to have me by your side every day." It's like, dude.
Yeah,
So
and
and then
the
he
board
did the
is
presentation.
yes, and the board is against it basically because the quota for the movies for that year has been met, and
Well, it did
they
look like there was like at least one guy who thought it was a good idea, but obviously it was like, a mixed bag, and I think that's what that guy was, the one who said that their quota's been met. He's basically saying it doesn't really matter whether we like it or not because
yeah,
we've already
it's
chosen
business.
the movies for this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter if it's a good idea or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Money
They've
are
already
involved. Yeah.
decided.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
And I think it might be one of those things because obviously, like, they kind of, like, his dad says to him, or Tessa's dad rather says to him, you want to make it this year. Like, obviously, like, maybe they might have gotten a green light for it, like, from the company if they were willing to make it, like, in next year's quota
mm-hmm.
or something like that. But because they want to make it this year, because they don't know if they're going to be there
Yeah.
next year, the company won't fund it. And so, yeah, Tessa's dad wants to self-fund the movie himself, like with his own funds, which is a bit much, I think, for
Tale.
Poon.
I think it's much for Tale. I think Poon says no for Tale's sake. And I think he says the previous line also for Tale's sake because he understands that for Tale, when Tale takes things close to heart, and like he must keep his head clear in order to not to slip into that place where he really sees Jess's dad as his own, or where he accepts such a big favor, because then he'd feel really bad. He would feel like using that person or like taking advantage of the situation, and that's not really something that he would like. It's not something that he would do. It's not in line with his moral values, and maybe Poon feels like he does this for him.
Yeah, I feel like as well, for like from Tully's point of view, he's very aware of the fact, more so than anyone else, obviously, that like Tess has issues with his family, especially with his dad, that, on the surface, essentially, Tully is fixing them for him, but like he doesn't know what it's going to be like for Tess when he comes back. If things are suddenly resolved with the father, that's great, but like it doesn't mean he's going to have let go of like any issues he has. And like there's, at a certain point, depending on what you do, if you change too much or you accept too much or something like that on behalf of that person, you could be making things worse instead of better as well. So as you said, like in taking advantage, but also like he's probably, although like, from your standpoint, you're like, I'm not thinking about the other ones, but like he probably is thinking about Tess, for example, when he makes certain decisions, because you'd have to, if you're like Tale and you're planning, like you want to go back, like it's your intention to go back, you have to think about like what you're leaving behind, like the legacies you're leaving behind for this person whose life you've been living, and you're going to want to hope that they're doing the same for you. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a bit like that old, saying like treat people the way you want them to treat you. So
exactly.
So he is thinking, like, he weighs things up based on, or like worries about things based on, is this going to make things better, or am I making things worse? Like, what happens when I go back? Like, he's probably thinking about all these things. We're not seeing it necessarily, but he probably is definitely thinking about all of these things in the background, because his intention is not to stay. So, and the other thing is if it goes horribly wrong, you know what I mean? Like, it's one more, if something went horribly wrong with the film or whatever, and the father lost a lot of money or something like that, then that's one more like trauma to their relationship that, you know, the actual real Tess won't have actually had anything to do with. So it's definitely, you know, a big thing to weigh on his mind for sure.
I feel like Poon really likes Talay the way he is. Like, he is in awe of his persona or the way he sees the world. You know, it hurts him sometimes, but he is impressed by Talay's morality. And here, like, Talay sways a little bit, and he sways because of Poon. And I think Poon, even though it would benefit him, he doesn't want that. He wants Talay to be Talay. Even if for himself he has his thoughts, he'd probably feel very weird if Talay said something like that to him, that, oh, maybe we should stay here. Like, he'd feel like something is really wrong with Talay.
Well, I think and that's probably as well why he pointed out the whole Tess thing, you know, about being like, you know, like he was like really like be into being Tess, because
Talay's
not Tess that he it's not Tess that he fell in love with, it's Talay.
Yeah, and Talay has a really strong identity. Poon is fluid, but Talay is like Talay. And so when
Poon is an actor, isn't he? So he slips into different personas really easily, and he can slip out of them just as easily. Whereas Talay, I feel like if Talay was to like come to the conclusion or come to the decision where he was like, okay, well, this is it from now, like, unless Tess comes back, this is my life now, and to fully absorb like Tess's family and his life, and to accept it as his own, you know, and all that entails, then he would.
It would mean he's having like an identity crisis and going through something mentally not good.
Feel like for him, it would become a permanent part of his person. You know what I mean? Like, whereas I feel like with Poon,
yes,
would be able to slide back into who he was before, because he's used to slipping in and out of personas and, you know, environments and all the rest of it with his acting. Whereas Talay will absorb these things permanently, and this will be who he is now.
Yeah.
And so because of that too, like, I feel like, you know, like at the moment he's missing his life where he comes from. I can't imagine if you build relationships with these people, like, you know, like Tessa's best friends are very, very quickly becoming his best friends as well. And then, you know, he's building this relationship with Tessa's father and his brother. You can't tell me that when he goes back, he doesn't miss these people.
Exactly, because he's very serious about things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. And so this episode is called... I'm sorry?
Sorry. I'm just laughing because it was like just tacked onto the end there. I'm so slow at the moment. Sorry guys, I've been sick the last few days, so my brain is like still catching up with life. Anyway.
So the name of the episode is Cloudy Grey. Let's not say anything for now about this. Or do you think you saw something already related?
Look, honestly, I'm going to be 100% honest that I'm probably going to miss those cues for the aforementioned, like, mental hardship that I'm having at the moment. I did notice they've both already worn grey.
I mean, the name of the episode is quite straightforward metaphor, I think. You could see it. Just wait. Just let's watch the next part.
You're like, you're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. What I did notice because of course, as you know, I always do. I can't help myself. Maybe it's a version of FOMO, fear of missing out, which is dumb because we're about to watch the next part now. But I always watch the little clip, you know, like the trailer. I hate the GMM does it, and yet I can't stop myself from watching them. The lead-in for the next part, and once again, I see that we're about to get introduced to Perth's character, but there's this like look on his face in the little mini trailer where it's like, does he know him from the other world? I'm very curious. I'm very, very curious for this next part.
Yeah, but before that, we see the guys struggle with and brainstorming ideas on where to get the budget for their movie. And then Tele wants to sell Tessa's clothes. And Tan buys everything, or like rescues him from selling everything for cheap price. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Kita and Fuse arrive.
When he was saying the amounts, I'm like trying to do the conversion in my brain, like between Thai baht and like Australian dollars, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's like nothing. What is he doing right now?
How does he think he's going to get a budget for a movie selling stuff like this?
I know, right? Especially when Tan gives him a hard time about it, and he's like, "Oh, but I don't want up to take his family's money, and I cannot remember the other friend. What's the other friend's name? Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, E, oh, you, I don't know. No, there's Up, and what's the other friend's name?
Oh.
It's a vowel sound.
Don't ask me.
He doesn't want him to sell his father's family's boats or whatever, and he's like, but like the amount that he then says they need, and he's been selling things for like 500 bucks. What are you doing? What are you doing right now?
He just wants to feel like he's doing something, that he's useful.
Like, he'd like honestly like just need to sell the apartment he's living in rather than the clothes. But I love how Tessa's best friends come to the rescue. It's very cute.
It is very cute. They want to be sponsors.
This is how the two worlds are going to meet as well. So the Tess and Tun's friends are about to meet, I'm guessing.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Aren't the actors sharing in We Are? Are they?
Yes, it's so funny. It took me ages to realize that, two of the actors, so Ooh and, oh my god, I do not remember the friends' names.
Fuse,
maybe, yeah, are a ship couple in We Are, and I think they've been in something else as well, actually, now that I think of it.
Wasn't it Hidden Agenda? No?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't watch that. Properly.
You watched more of that than I did.
I did I skipped through it because it was like, it didn't interest me at all. So I don't know. I don't remember. But I think I've definitely seen them in something else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not sure what it is. That or they're going to be in something else. Mm-hmm. Maybe I saw them in a trailer for like upcoming stuff when GMM did their other like second part 2 or whatever it was. But yeah, so it's taken me this long to realize that.
And you're watching We Are. I am not yet.
Yeah, it's very cute. It's very drawn out. They could have done it in like 10 episodes, but I'm like, I watch it every week with a smile on my face. So while it's not going to break any like, records or anything, like, it's very, very cute. The characters are sweet. It's a nice, like, easygoing romance without too much huge drama. And not a lot of conflicts, and it's nice. I like it, and it's the first drama that I've seen Pon and Fuin in where I didn't want to like hurt one of them. So yeah, I think it's really cute. I like their characters a lot. There's a couple of characters that are a little bit over the top or whatever, but it's all just cute, sweet fun. So, yeah, but it took me a while. Like, I can't believe... Maybe it's because they're very close into this...
Maybe it's because they haven't started together yet. They haven't met yet. You haven't seen them together.
They still haven't, but it's just... they're in the same episode in the first part. You know what I mean? Like, it's... Like, maybe they've both been in the same episode with me previously, but maybe, like... Up and Ooh were in part 1 and the other friends weren't in it until like part 3 or part 4. And so I just didn't, you know what I mean? It didn't twig to me, maybe. I don't know. Also, we've had a few weeks off from vice versa too. And I've had a bunch more episodes of we are that I've watched in in that period of time, where I've gotten, recognizing the actors in that a little bit more. So maybe that's part of it as well. But I was like, ooh, are they going to have a romance?
So are you looking forward to their romance
to when
and
they
vice
meet?
versa?
I'm curious to see what their characters, what their roles will be. And it's also because, as I said, once again, I keep falling into the trap of like wondering about the future for Tess and Tan, even though like you're like, it's not important. Because this is interesting to have their friendship groups meet and stuff like that.
I've never watched their romance in vice versa, actually.
Oh, because you skip.
Yep.
You've skipped other parts, have you? Yeah.
So this is going to be new for me as well.
And so you just said romance, so there is a romance. I mean, I figured.
I don't know because I skipped. I think so.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm assuming there would be. Because usually there's a secondary couple, isn't there? And there's not. We're not seeing Tess and Ton, so it makes sense for there to be a secondary couple. For it to be possibly them, given that they are a ship pairing as well. So I'm curious, because they're, as I said, I've seen them in this other show recently, so it'll be interesting to see the dynamics. The characters are both really different, so
let's go see. Let's go watch part 2.
How's it going? Blah blah blah. All right, part 2. Part 2. Here we come.
Let's go. Part 2. You know what? I just realized. I really want to watch We Are. I don't know what happened.
Sure. I don't know if you'll like it or not. I hope you will, because it's like, I feel like...
I hope I do.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, as I said, it's like, it's kind of... I don't want to upset anyone, in case they, like, absolutely love it, and say the wrong thing here, but it's like... It's a very simple show. Like, there's not... Like, it's not...
I saw people talk about it in ways that I don't really remember anything, but I know that people talk about it on Tumblr, and Zoe, maybe it depends on the way you watch it. Maybe if we did a podcast, we'd discover that it's not simple, actually.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely, like, if you watch it...
Me saying, even though I haven't tried even 1 minute of it.
Like, there's definitely stuff that I, like, if you had been watching it, we would have talked about it. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like...
Yeah, no, I understand.
That deep, but it's like, it just, I don't know, it makes me feel good to watch.
Like, the trailer reminded me of... Secret Crush on You a little bit, the vibe.
There are definitely aspects of that to it, in that, like, some of the characters, as I said, are a little bit over the top in that, but you don't really mind it, you know what I mean? And it's definitely, I've seen a lot of people complaining about that it's gone too long, and there's, like, a lot of, like, stuff that maybe didn't need to be there, or, like, whatever, but I haven't really found that, and there's, like, multiple couples, and... Only, like, in the last episode was there ever, like, a scene with one of the kind of secondary couples, I guess, where it was like, I don't really care about this, like, go back to, like, the two main sort of character, like couples. And only once have I had that experience where I was like, I don't really want to watch this, let's go back to the other couples. Or as you kind of, like, are happy to see the different pairings on the screen. Like, they're just, it's all a little bit fun. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, and even when it is serious, it's, like, not too serious, but it's still interesting, at least. But it's not, like, super traumatic or anything like some of the really good ones are. But it's just, it is what it is what I would say about it. But
I understand. Like, we'll see. Like, I'll let you know when I watch it. Let's get back to vice versa.
Hang on, one more thing. I think one of the reasons why I like it the way I do is that I literally started watching it with zero expectations. That was the first thing. And the other thing was, the only thing I was curious about was whether or not I was going to like it for the Pond and Fwyn of it, because I really wanted to like a drama with them in it. And I have liked stuff that, like, Fish Upon a Sky is one of those shows that... like, it makes me laugh even though it's, like, really wrong. It's one of those ones that I've watched a couple of times when I've, like, in the mood for it. And then is it Never Let Me Go? which was the first sort of person on, and I didn't like Fun's character in that. I didn't really like his character in Fish Upon a Sky as well. I found him irritating in both of those, and I was like, is this gonna be the one drama where I like his character? And I love his character in this.
Oh, you do?
I do. I love his character. Like, his character is a lot of fun. He's just, I like both their characters actually in this. There's been the main, if I have a complaint about the show at all, is that there's a couple of things they've introduced, and I don't know whether or not they're going to see them through to fruition, because I feel like if it was a different show, they definitely would, and it would cause conflict and all the rest of it when they did that. But because this isn't really a show where they're kind of leaning into that, I feel like it's just going to be brushed aside, and we might get like a comment where someone makes where it's like, it's all, oh yeah, it's all good now kind of like thing, rather than actually see something be addressed. Because there's only one more episode. Like, I think next week is the last episode. So, yeah, but I think that's fine. It's okay to have shows that are like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a show that I'll definitely watch again, just because it's one that you could, it's just easy to watch. So, and that's not a criticism. That's not a criticism at all. But yeah, back to Vice Versa. So
Fuse is so tall.
Sorry?
Fuse is so tall. When they walked, like they were standing, all of them together, I was like, oh my god. I thought the actor who played Kita was tall.
Yeah.
But Fuse is even taller than him. I mean, the actor. I don't know. It's just like, whoa, tall person.
I still can't get over the fact that his name, right, from Dangerous Romance, yeah?
Yeah. No, Fuse is the one who is taller, and Kita is the one from his name from Dangerous Romance.
Yeah, is the one from I still can't get over that. That blows my mind every time I think about it. Especially him in We Are. His character in We Are, I really like his character in We Are as well.
He's in We Are as well?
Yeah, he's in We Are too. Yeah.
Who's not in We Are should be the question.
Yeah. Well, that's probably there's a few characters in We Are. The guy who plays I don't remember. I'm bad with names at the moment. But the like arts intern.
I'm bad with names always.
I know. I'm like, it's something new. But the actor who plays the like intern who's doing like the arts production type role in The Trainee is also in We Are. There's like everybody's in We Are. But
so we had that scene where they finally meet.
A tumultuous first meeting between the ship pairing. I swear I love Neo so much. I love how he, like
suddenly switches like, oh my god, you guys are so amazing. I've always loved you.
For you.
Hilarious.
It's so funny. Like I love him so much. One of the reasons why I'm really looking forward to Golden Blood as well is because I literally, like, I feel like his character's going to get murdered in that because that's what the trailer indicates, but I would love to see him in that. I think it's going to be really funny. So, even if he's only in it momentarily.
Neo is, I don't remember. Neo is in Golden Blood?
Yeah, like, he does something or whatever. I think he threatens Fluke's character, and so, Joss is like,
that's gonna be weird.
Well, he's
funnier usually.
Humor in it. I think the taunting seems humorous. You know what I mean? And I remember him talking, like, I think, like, on the evening when they were like showing the trailers and that, he made some comment about like how he just doesn't live long or something like that. So I don't know whether that's true or whether he was just like, because it's kind of implied in the trailer that you know, he's not long for the world after he messes with Fluke Gaywan's character. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I every time I see him in things, I forget how much I liked to watch him in stuff. But I've been pleasantly surprised with a lot of actors this year. Like, I don't know another one which I don't think you've watched any of is that One D Good Day, which is another one with like, you know, but Mum and I love Drake in it at the moment. He's not in it a lot, but when he is in it, it's like the highlight of the show for me. So I'm having lots of fun watching different actors that have been around for a while. This year, for some reason, I don't know why, some of them are just standing out a lot to me. Maybe it's the roles they're being given, because they're, you know, they've been around for a while, so I've, you know, definitely enjoyed them before, but for whatever reason, in various ways. And I mean, this obviously was made a few years ago, but like I think I always have fun watching Neo do stuff. I can't help but see a little bit of him in all of his characters, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think that makes him a bad actor or anything. I think that kind of makes it cool. It's like an artist where you can kind of
maybe the roles are written for him. Maybe it's not him, but the roles that are given to him.
Roles. Yeah. Because then I think like it's like an artist, you know, who chooses different medium, but you can still get the vibe that it's them, and that's a cool thing. I think it's like putting your stamp on.
It depends, you know but I mean? I don't think it's all on him.
No, possibly not.
Yeah,
possibly not.
So
he gets a lot of roles where he plays like there's a lot of shenanigans, and he's just like that in general in person as well. I'd love to see him play a like super serious dark role. I think that would be a lot of fun.
I feel like this role might be the closest from what I've seen of him to his personality.
Oh, okay, really?
Can you think of another role that is close to how you see him in real life?
Not off the top of my head. Have you ever watched, just changing the subject again, have you ever watched Fish Upon a Sky?
No.
He's in that too. He's so ridiculous in it, but it's like, yeah.
Are you saying that character is closer to what you see his character to be in real life?
I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying like it's one of those characters of his that sticks in my mind, because it's so ridiculous. He's so ridiculous in it.
Okay, so they're looking for a director. They're having issues finding a director, and Talay is trying to contact.
On Tess.
I'm sorry?
I said suspiciously the director in question keeps hanging up on Tess.
Yeah, he's trying to contact a guy called Meg who studied abroad, but he just doesn't want to answer to his calls. And Quinn suggests to be the director himself. And we had that little scene where they tried to he tries to help Talay get into character, which is funny because they are the characters.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. He's successful in making him get into the mood that he wants him in, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, look at me, I'm an amazing director. You love me.
Yeah. He's trying to get a confession out of him.
Yeah, and Talay's like, no, I don't. I was totally thinking about it. It's like, sure.
And then Up shows up.
Yeah, I feel like there was like about to be something, but then Up like rocks turns up and is just like, ta-da! I fixed the problem.
Talay is still suspicious about the way the problem was fixed, but there's nothing to say at this point. Oh, and then did you notice he said headbook? I suppose it's like an alternative of Facebook. Headbook.
Oh yeah, Headbook. I reached out on Headbook. I did not notice that. I just wondered if that was like, you know how like in different industries sometimes there are like, you know, maybe like boards or like way to contact or like the way, you know, you can like solicit like certain, you know, employees or like headhunt for certain things. I just wondered if it was like because Headbook sounds like, made me think of like Headshot, you know, like when you have your photos taken, like actors and models and that. And so in my mind, I never even thought about Facebook. I just thought that it was like some sort of
database,
like, place that you like in the industry of like filmmaking that you would like contact people on, like directors and that sort of stuff. So it didn't even occur to me that is probably definitely, because head and face are kind of the same thing, really, aren't they? I mean, they're not at all, but like someone who studied anatomy is not at all the same thing, but you know what I mean. It's pretty close. It has to be that.
And then we get a scene with Fuse and Kita and a little kitten, a little beautiful kitten.
I know, the kittens. Yeah, he had me until he was like threatening to smack it, and I was like, "Don't you dare!" I'm like, "How dare you smack a pussy unless she asks for it." Yeah, okay. I apologize. It's like no kitties were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Amazing.
But yeah. Anyway, he doesn't want to be the kind, gentle vet, so he wants a character change.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, like,
he wants to be a hot, rich player.
Yeah, which is like essentially what he is. It's like he's trying to be typecast right now. He's
but
like, just make this all about me.
Who is the vet? Who is the vet in this, movie that they're making? They're basing it like when Poon was trying to get Tale into character, he was basically telling him their story, because you made a movie together, blah blah blah, and I'm like, where does the vet, who is he? Where is he? Like, who is he in that story?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because apparently Ooh is creating the character, so maybe the vet is Oo's like dream person. Maybe he wants a soft, gentle man who's into animals, and instead he's going to get a rich player. Sorry, I amused myself. It doesn't take much, honestly.
And he goes there and he tries to
buy what he wants.
Yeah, again, it's his thing.
But too cheaply, apparently.
It's like someone who thinks he can buy something met someone who is has principles, I guess. So they're very different. Maybe looks like they're opposites.
Yeah. Or he has principles to a point, but like if you want to breach them, then you need way more commitment than just like a few dollars. You need a lot of dollars, or like something better. So it's kind of like he's like, you need to try harder, essentially. Is the underlining tone I got from that scene. And yeah, then it switches to Tale and Poon are waiting to meet the director at a very cool cafe.
I know, right? It's so fucking cool.
That is so funky. I want to go to that place.
Me too.
Like how cool is that? Like,
they have such interesting locations. Like, remember that restaurant with the swing in episode 3? Or
that is cool. And I'm like, I'm guessing these are all places that exist in Thailand. Like, how cool is this? I mean, I've been to a cafe that was in an old train, and I've been to one that's like on like a ship, and things like that. But I've never an aeroplane? No. I mean, like, unless I was flying and they bought me a cup of something. But that doesn't really count. But yeah, how cool was that? That was just such a cool set.
Yeah.
Such an interesting concept. But yeah, and then we had the whole cake flirting scene, which, I mean, like, really?
I like when he does that to Poon. Poon is like, Tale, what are you playing? Which basically means, why are you playing a different game from my game? My game is so much fun. Play my game.
I know, right? And then the bit where he like, where Poon wipes it off of Tale and then like eats it, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "If we were alone, I would have just like eaten it directly off of you." Because I was totally waiting.
A threat or a promise?
Yeah. I was totally waiting for someone to lick the other one's face, if I'm being perfectly honest. But then I have noticed that in Thai dramas, they don't often do that sort of stuff out in public or in front of other people. So I kind of was half expecting it, but also not expecting it because of where they were. Like, I feel like if they had been in Quinn's room at the back at his parents' house or something, and they had done something like this, then they definitely would have licked each other's faces. But yeah, like if they were in front of their friends, no. If they were in in this cafe, no. So, but yeah, the innuendo was there, and then we had Path, and I was just like, yeah, Path is here. And I was so wrong. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. It's funny because I started to, when the beginning part of this episode was happening, and they were talking about how he kept hanging up Tess's calls. I was like, oh, because initially in the first part, I was thinking, as I said, you saw that little bit in the the next part trailer, where he had this look on his face of recognition and horror, essentially. Yeah, like a what the fuck moment. Where I was just assuming that he was for some reason I just assumed that they knew each other from the other universe or other world or whatever, which is dumb because why would he recognize him by face value without him even saying anything? And of course, as I said, when we had the scene where he was talking about how he kept hanging up on him, he was like, oh no, he knows Tess. And then so that whole bit, I was like, oh, Tess, what did you do to him? Was my original thought. But then when he was horrified to see Ton there as well, I was like, oh my god, what's going on? And of course we find out that they all went to high school together. And that clearly at some point him and Ton had banded together against Tess. With this, obviously their joint hatred of him. So yeah, which is, as I said, this makes a lot more sense than the previous assumption I had about the characters. But yeah, it's very interesting.
Have you noticed
what do
Tale called Mac Mok?
Yeah, so he knows him in someone who looks like him in the other world, I guess.
Zoe, Mok. Remember Mok?
Oh!
No? No?
I told you my brain is not working. You can't do this to me. Why? I'm having a complete mental break.
Our sweetheart, the little angel from Last Twilight, Mok, played by Jimmy.
Oh, because I was thinking Perth, and I'm like, no, Perth's character in Dangerous Moments was Kang. Oh, of course, yeah, a little more. That's really kind of funny, isn't it, really? I wonder if that was on purpose.
Me too.
Last Twilight was written, wasn't it? I don't know how tortured is this Morg. Our Morg was very tortured.
Well, let's go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Watch.
It took me a while. Sorry.
Let's go watch the next part and see how tortured he is.
Oh, I'm worried, but also excited to find out.
Let's go.
All right. See ya.
Part 3.
So they ditched him in high school. I mean, he ditched them in high school.
He ditched them when they were doing a project.
Yeah.
Betrayal.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but it's it happened in high school. Build a bridge. You're a movie director now. Build a bridge and get over it already, dude.
Really? Really, Zoe?
Yeah, that was my initial thought. I mean, it was high school. I could get it. I could get holding such a grudge that you would do something like sabotage if you had epically derailed your life or something, but he's basically living his best life.
But he's not sabotaging. He just really doesn't like him. He doesn't like him. He's not sabotaging him. As you can see, he is just making his life harder than he has to. But
the plan they discussed though in the previous part was sabotage, essentially.
But no, but he was just saying stuff. Of course, he's not going to discredit himself. Yeah, but this is the reason why Tan was avoiding Tess. He liked him. And he invited him to.
Yeah. There was that. Plus, there was the thing with the girl too. Remember?
Yeah, the girl. He betrayed him. Plus, the thing with the girl, and it's Yeah, I don't know. Like what? Suddenly, if you're older, like I understand with the sabotaging, of course, that's petty. And I don't, like, obviously he's not going to do that because it just would ruin his reputation. Why would you do that?
Yeah. I mean, I get holding grudges and stuff, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't held on to anything that happened to me in high school. At least I don't think so.
What do you mean by you don't hold on? Like, if you see a person that you didn't like in high school, will you suddenly start liking them and want to work with them?
But I wouldn't, like, if it was beneficial to me, you know what I mean? I would not work with them just because I didn't like them. Like, I mean...
Well, it's not like he just didn't like them. He ruined their thing.
I suppose in this situation, it's similar, isn't it? Because he did flake on them. And it was, like, a project. It would, yeah, I guess it could be trauma-inducing. All right. Scratch the comment.
Okay, I like Spoon's reaction when, because Mock is so, like, he's so angry and he looks so Mac, and he looks so threatening as the music is tense, and it's like, he has this energy that is very negative, and it's like maybe they decided that Perth should play a bully in his next series because he's doing a good job with this. But Poon's face is like, oh, what the fuck? How do I fix this? How do I get him away from Talay?
It was so funny, like, when he was kind of, like, just going along with it, and then Mac suggested that the script was crappy, and, like, Poon was, like, so offended. Like, his facial expression was, like, so offended.
And I thought of a thing, and I don't know if what I'm going to say now is correct, but I remember reading a post when we were watching Last Twilight where someone was talking about names and how, Day was self-explanatory, but Mock meant something like cloudy or misty. And Mock, and maybe Mac as well. I'm not sure, but if it's like that, then it fits that this episode is called Cloudy Grey.
Yeah, well, it's funny because when Poon was talking about to Talay about, like, how Mac is gonna, like, is planning to destroy the movie and all this sort of stuff, and he sort of says, oh, well, then we'll have to get someone else, and Poon was like, oh, no, I'll just talk him out of it, essentially. And then when Talay said about how he looked like someone he liked in high school, and Poon just, like, looks so jealous. And then I was thinking, oh, this is where the cloudy grey is coming into it. And I was like, okay, so cloudy grey, when's the silver lining happening, was my comment. But yeah, it was funny because I had other thoughts here, but I don't remember them now because they've been overtaken by, like, what happens at the end of this part. But yeah, it's so funny because in the beginning, he's like, when it comes to Mac, he's just like, oh, what am I going to do with this guy? Like, how can I make this work for Talay? And by the end of this part, he's just like, how do I keep him away from Talay?
I think he starts with how do I keep him away from Talay, and it ends with how do I keep him away from Talay, but for two very different reasons.
You may be correct in that. But yeah, and then of course, like, Tay turned up. Hello, Tay.
Oh no, but before that, like, it's just so entertaining. All this Cinderella and stepmother moments that they're having.
Well, it was lots of fun watching Jimmy play with the cats. I will confess that. Being a cat girly myself, I was like, does he have cats? No.
Yeah, but I want to talk about the moments between Mac and Talay, and how Mac keeps keeps pushing Talay and keeps testing him and his patience, and he is
well, because he's used
resolve.
He's expecting Talay to respond the way Tess would, and Tess is
and bail.
the way Talay.
Yeah, he's expecting him to just bail on everything. Yeah.
Yeah, whereas Tale is like, this must work. So he's just like swallowing his pride. I missed it. How did he engage the director guy? Did we actually get shown that? Because like I saw that he said something about like not answering the messages or something, and then the next thing I like clocked of it was when he was telling Mech that he had gotten the director, and he's like, what? It takes him a month to answer my messages.
I think he's going to explain that in the next part. I think there is an explanation, but it wasn't here. So probably in the next part.
Cool. Mm-hmm. I wasn't sure if that was just like the way my brain is working, and I had like absorbed it and not recognized it that I had absorbed it, because I was just like, when that bit was mentioned, I was like, wait, how did that happen?
But no, I find
so I actually miss it.
I find this moment so entertaining because visually entertaining, because when he is told to edit the screenplay, to find the cameraman, it gives me strong Cinderella vibes because of the way he was like sitting on that sofa and Tale was on the floor, and I don't know, there was something about it. And then the next scene where Tale is like, look, I did all that you wanted me to do, and he was so smug. And that time they were in some kind of a, I don't even know, like an underground bar or something. Yeah, they were wearing costumes, sitting on leather chairs, and it's like kind of a mafia type thing, because I don't know if you noticed, but behind, like there was a shot, like if you paused on Mech, it was like Animal World behind him, like exactly behind him there was a lion, and it's like he's the lion, and then there was a deer and like something else there, and the scene seemed very over the top. So and then at the end he's like, Meg drank water, but I was like, that should have been whiskey, or what do this mafia people drink in these kinds of movies? I feel like they have these references, but at the same time, like at this Tale
was a boss in that scene. That's why you get that vibe, I reckon.
No. Meg was the boss. Meg had the lion behind him.
No, but like, Tale was so confident with the I did this, I did that. So he I feel like
they were on equal grounding.
I feel like Mech thought he was the boss, but then Tale was like, no, hang on a second, I'm the boss.
No, like, Zoe, no. I seriously do not agree. You should go back and pause on the way.
Really, it felt like a mic drop moment for me.
You should really go back and pause and check the way it was filmed, and look like Tale had stairs behind him, but just pause on the way on the shot where you see Mech from the front, and you'll understand. He's like the jungle,
I feel like that's
king of jungle.
Of how he felt at the beginning of that scene, if that makes any sense, versus the difference of like what actually happens in that scene.
I don't agree, because at the end we cut to Tale playing with kittens, and it's like he's the kitten. He thought he was someone in that room, but in the end he's still the kitten.
Yeah, but that doesn't discount what I'm saying. In that scene, in that room, he thought he was the boss, and then he goes back and he's back to being the cat. So that your Cinderella thing fits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I'm talking about the scene with the lions and all the rest of it was like, anyway, let's not worry about it. But yeah.
Right, what you mean was that you saw it as Tale thinking he's on equal grounding, and then realizing he was not.
Yeah, and then coming like crashing back down to earth in the next scene. Yeah. So I think we're both right, if that makes any sense. I'm happy to just like agree to disagree, but be like, yeah, we're both right.
But me more so.
Oh.
I am right.
Yeah, I like the kitty scene. I'm just like, whenever I see other people playing with cats, it makes me want to play with my cats.
But at the same time, I'm like, what did they do to these cats? They look so miserable.
But I think it's the kind of cat that they are. These cats just kind of always look pissed off.
Maybe.
Because their faces are all squished.
Like, Scottish.
Yeah, they're the ones with the weird little, like, fold over. Yeah, like, they're, like, Scottish something, aren't they? They always just look, like, really disgruntled to me. Like, I'm not here for this. But yet they're totally, like, laying on their back going, touch my telly. Touch my tummy.
It's really adorable. And at the same time, I know that C has lots of allergies. And I think I read somewhere that he's allergic to cats. So that must have been quite an experience for him filming that.
Well, it's funny because I feel like his character and his, like, true personality were, like, very represented in this scene in regards to the cats. The way he was just, like, you know, like, interacting with them. And then even when they were standing outside talking to Tay, and, like, he's just holding the cat like it's, like, this thing. Whereas, like, Jimmy is, like, lovingly cradling his like it's a baby, which is how I carry my cat around the place. And I'm just like, the two, like, differences were very interesting.
But we skipped a moment. And I want to tell you, like, I want to mention it for you because you were right here. Like, I was watching this and I was like, oh, Zoe was so right. And I want to mention this because I was so overwhelmingly right regarding the lever bar scene. So we must mention this so that you feel better.
The what bar?
The bar, with the lion. Like, I was overwhelmingly correct there. So,
okay, so what was I right about? Because I have no idea.
When Fuse went to O to ask him to help him research for the character.
Yeah. Mm.
Or maybe not that, but actually I wanted to mention the moment when he goes to Talay. Fuse goes to Talay, and Talay tells him that they cannot just change the character because that will influence the whole movie. And he shows him that actually did a lot of research and he spent time and effort on this thing. So and he mentioned that it is a supporting character. So that here's an answer to my question from the before. And
he's created for himself.
And the moment that made me scream, was that it looks like he created this character because he's into this imaginary, character. Yeah.
And he's just like, help me become this person.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's like, I love how he offered to pay him, and he's like, I'm reminded there's a lyric in I'm gonna talk about K-pop for a second here, but there's a lyric in August D song where he says something like, I'm gonna misquote this, that his time is worth more than money, sort of thing, and essentially is the line, and it just reminded me of
my love don't cost a thing.
Yeah, not that lyric, but that was but yeah, like he rejects the money and he's like, this will be way more fun anyway. Like, and it's so funny because Fuse's character, when he rejects the money, Fuse's character takes that as a total rejection, in that, like, he's not going to help him because money has been rejected. So that shows you the way that he's used to bartering in his life, and the way he's used to interacting with people is that they take something from him to give him something. Like, he doesn't get anything from free. That's how it comes across anyway. And so for to be like, oh no, I'm going to do it because, like, this is going to be fun for me in other ways. Is like, it's like a surprising thing to him, but also it amused me because, like, I totally get that. He's like, no, I'm gonna have fun watching you, like, fumble and fall in love with these animals that you're, like, grumpy about, and Also, I mean, like, if you're an author or you're, like, a writer or whatever. Oh, sorry, hang on a second. If you're my mouth does not want to work. If you're a writer or an author or any kind of creator and you have this idea, like, he's got, as you said, he's clearly got this, like, character in his mind, and there's, like, a hot guy that like wants to, you know, play out, act this character with you, like, you're not gonna say no to that. Like, that is gonna be like a lot of fun for you. Like, that is just like, you know, that's goals. That's life goals right there. So yeah, I'm curious to see if we're gonna get a little montage of them playing, but I'm guessing we probably won't, because they're not the main focus of the story. But yeah, we have had a lot of pussy action this episode.
Lots of pussy. Like, I'm feeling like you want to make this the title of the episode, and I'm concerned.
Pussy action.
Something with a pussy, for sure.
Yeah, well, I feel like my joke earlier was probably better, but I don't know if it's necessarily suitable for a title.
What, pussy slap?
Yeah. Pussy, yeah, slap that pussy. But yeah. Anyway, alright. Changing the topic. Perhaps that should be the title.
Changing the topic.
Yes. Yeah. Moving right along. But yeah, I must admit, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to take it back to the pussy because I can't help it. This is a line I never thought I would hear in like any television show or a movie or whatever, and it is, if not this cat, I won't be your director.
Yeah.
Which is something that Max says to Tale, and I'm just like, excuse me, like what? I mean, it underlines how ridiculous he's being with his like his
demands,
his crusade to like to drive Tess rather insane.
How poetic, his crusade.
Yeah, his crusade. Yeah, but I'm just when he said that, I was just like, yeah, that's not a line I thought I would ever hear. So kudos for them for that.
We should have written pussy. If not this pussy, I'm not gonna be your director.
That should be the title. If not this pussy, I won't be your director.
That sounds more realistic and sad.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, it's so funny too because I mean, if you changed out the word cat to pussy in like all of these lines, it would have been funny because like, doesn't Tale say something like, "That cat is wicked"?
Tame it.
Take the cat out and switch it to pussy.
No.
And then Mech's response to that is like, "Tame it," or "Can't you tame it?" or something like that. Like, it changes the conversation. This feels like a conversation.
Yeah, replacing words with other words does that.
Yeah, you have a conversation you have with your girlfriend or your mates after a few wines, taming the pussy. But yeah, so anyway, moving along.
Oh, but we had that moment with Tay. And it's weird. It's so weird because, like, okay, they wanted him to be there, but, like, how does it make sense that Tay Tawinan exists in their original world, but Sea Tawinan does not? Like, how is that? Why?
It's just weird anyway. Like, it was such a weird cameo. Like, it was pointless to... well, I'm assuming it's pointless to the... Unless he's in it... Is he in it again?
Well, he's... Like, they adopt him as the actor.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's different. Okay, so I just thought it was going to be just that one-off scene. And if it had just been that one-off scene, I was like, why? Because...
Honestly, I don't know if he actually has lines later.
I'm so amused by that comment. He's just there. He's like
being
he's like
pretty. The face of Tay Tawinan.
It's so funny because, like, I must admit, beyond like the fact that it seems like a pointless part of the scene, I did love Tay's acting in this because he was so like, yeah, no, I just want to deliver my packages. Like, I just want to deliver my food. Like, I'm
very passionate about delivery, guys. It's my career.
Like this is the guy you want delivering your food, because you know it's going to arrive warm, right? You know that all of the condiments are going to be in that bag. You're not going to be missing your barbecue sauce. It's going to be in there. But like he was so serious, like, and it's very unlike him. So it was fun in that respect to see him, but I was kind of just like, the way, and I sorry, it's been so long, I can't remember the names. What
Peng?
is the female actress? Peng, that's right, Peng. So like the way she's just like, oh my god, and she so wants to adopt him and is very forceful in it. Like I kind of found that a little bit jarring. Like it didn't I feel like it didn't suit her character as well. Like I feel like she wouldn't be that pushy with someone who clearly seemed not to be interested. But yeah, I don't know. We haven't seen a lot of her, but that's like just a personal, thought. I found it a bit of an awkward scene, which clearly you obviously feel the same way. So, and I feel like that's, as I said, if I might change my mind about it now that I know that he's going to be in it a little bit. But if it had just been like that little cameo, I would have just been like, why?
No,
Tim, and why?
it's a why for me. It's a why.
Yeah. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, you can never have too much Tatawan, but at the same time, like, give him a purpose. So, and I think that's the thing, like, I feel like they leaned too far on the, like, this world, like, that you and I live in, is reality, when the show's not really about that, at least not in this point in time. So I feel like by leaning into that, it takes away from the story they're trying to tell.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But anyway,
I feel
like we talked about that a lot.
Yeah, Pin is trying to get Mac to leave
Calm down.
Tale alone. Yeah.
Yeah. And instead he's just like, I love him. Which, I'm sorry, I feel like I saw coming, because I feel like that is one way that you don't build a bridge and get over it, when you have, like, emotions are involved. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's deeper than just this guy flaked on them. He's like, he broke his little, like, teenage boy's heart by, like, not only did he ditch. See, I feel like the important part of this is not only did he ditch them, but he, like, essentially ditched them for, like, someone else, like a girl. And I wonder if the girl that he ditched them for is, like, the girl.
Which girl?
The girl that supposedly he thought that Tun liked as well.
Oh.
Like,
God.
the girl that
that
Tess spoke to. Yeah, because if it was all the same person, then I can understand Tun, like, doubly being pissed off, because it was never about that for him anyway. But for Tess to be like, oh, you're just mad because of the girl or whatever, or misunderstanding him, would have pissed him off as well, because of like, this was more probably, even though he liked him, like Mech liked him, probably what they were creating was way more important, and so at the time, and so, like, it's like a double betrayal, and that would have been the thing that probably would have bothered him more. But then Tess to focus on the girl would have just pissed him off, which is how Tun's character came across in the beginning, like the bits that we saw him when when Tale was trying to, like, reach out to him, like the kind of yes, he was hurt and he was upset and he, like, whatever, but I felt like he felt really pissed off as well. Do you know what I mean? And so, yeah, it would make sense if it's the same girl. Like, the whole thing is all interconnected. It makes sense to me. But yeah, poor Poon in this scene, like, his face when he's, like, the realization of what's happening here. And he's just like, it's like when you create a monster and you realize you've created this monster that you had not intended on creating. I've done that a couple of times.
Created a monster?
Yeah. Like, I had two friends in high school, and one of my friends really liked this boy, and so I kind of hooked them up, but then she broke his heart, and I was just like, yeah, I did that. It's just, these things get away from us sometimes, and it's like, wow, this is why I should just, like, peace out and not get involved. But yeah, so we do these things, we create these, like, dramas of our own, like, things that we don't realize. Like, you know, it's like us doing a podcast every week. It's a monster of our own creation. We did this to ourselves, people. Yeah, so it's, you know, we do these things without realizing, but it's so funny when this like realization dawns on him, especially when, you know, what he wants at the beginning of this scene is for Mac to like see the good in Tale, and then like you can tell he's very quickly backpedaling and going, God, I wish he still hated him. Like, why can't he hate him? So yeah, because I mean, the frustrating thing about this episode for me is that in the last episode they kind of had this full-on like almost confession moment, and yet they're still not actually a couple or dating properly here. Like, there's definitely allusions to the fact that they obviously like each other and they know they like each other. Like, when they're in the car and Tale is talking about how Mek looks like Mork, this guy that he liked in high school, and Pun says to him, you know, did you hold hands? And he's like, yes, once, or almost, or something like that, and in high school. And then he says, did you kiss him? And he's like, no. And he's like, good, because I'm the only one who's allowed to do this. And then he kisses him on the cheek. Like, so things like that. But then, like, when he does that, Tale acts like a scandalized virgin. He's like, oh my God, like, how dare you? Like, why would you do that? And it's like, well, like, aren't you guys like in love with each other? Shouldn't you be like holding hands and kissing? So that's a little frustrating for me personally, but at the same time, like, I kind of get it, because these characters are just like, I feel like they're a little bit hopeless, but like in a fun way. So I'm like, I'm not quite ready to do that meme where you're like, actually no, I am. I'm there's the meme where it's like, just kiss, and the two persons like pressing their heads together. Yeah, I'm kind of there. But I don't want them just to kiss. I want them to kiss and date, because like, or at least like have confirmation of the fact that they're a couple or whatever. Because what are we now? Episode 8, and that they're not there yet. How many episodes does this one have?
12.
So I'm like, you know, hurry up and put them together so you can break them apart, GMM. I'm like, you know you want to. So yeah, so I must admit, although this is a good episode so far, don't get me wrong, I agree with your the description of it at the beginning when you said that you liked this one. This was a good episode. I mean, we haven't watched the last bit yet, but I agree with that so far. It's not at all what I thought it was going to be. Like, honestly, I thought they were going to be all loved up in this episode, and they're not really like that. But then I suppose you needed this conflict. You couldn't have them all loved up with introducing this character at the same time. So it makes sense to me, but at the same time, like, I want my loved up episode. And I was worried when I thought it was the loved up episode and it was called Cloudy Grey. I was just like,
yeah, it was obviously not the loved up. No. Zoe, you already know how the loved up episode is going to be called, don't you? Come on.
But we've already had a pink episode.
It wasn't pink. It was something pink. It's 2 words.
Was it? I can't remember.
Me neither. But I know it wasn't pink. It wasn't just pink.
Okay, so is the loved up episode just pink then? I mean, not just pink, but yeah, the loved up episode is called Just Pink. Oh no. Okay. Well, all right. Well, should we go and watch part 4?
Let's go watch part 4.
Yeah, because I want to watch like Pun get all jealous.
Let's go.
Because why not?
Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
Part 4. So how are you? How are you? How are we? Are we satisfied?
I'm so glad that I didn't have to resort to the meme of pushing their heads together. It's so funny, given what we were just talking about, that this is how the episode ended, with a big passionate kiss in public. I mean, it was in the dark in a museum, but still, not art gallery, not a museum. But still, yes, I Surprisingly, quite a few notes, considering I've taken almost no notes all day, all night, or rather, all episode.
Oh.
I keep getting, I kept getting sucked into, I think, what was happening, and I was just watching it, forgetting that I was, like, doing this for a purpose. Not just for the fun of it.
I'm very curious to hear your thoughts.
Well, before we get into it, I want to correct myself. For earlier, I referenced an August D lyric where I was, when we were talking about Fuse and Ewan, about like the money situation, about like his time being worth more than money and like his efforts being worth more than money, and I sort of did a quote and it was wrong, and I knew it was wrong, so I wanted to check it. So the actual quote is who says time is money, my time is worth more than that. And I just think that's a really good lyric, but also it like fits that moment that like was in this episode really, really well, in that like even down to when Fuse goes to ask for his help to get into character. So I just wanted to correct myself and just like, make it in there. So yeah, anyway, but the beginning part of this episode was so funny to me. Not episode, this beginning part of part 4, sorry. Because Tale seemed like, I wrote super excited, but it wasn't super, but like very animated at the idea of like Mech liking him. And the way he said, oh, he used to like me, and then he goes, oh, I mean Tess, and Poon is just like so not happy. Because he's just like, it wasn't even excited.
Miserable.
It was like, he was just like, yeah, I know, right? But it was just so funny. And it's like, he's just so worried. In this, he's like worried he's gonna hit on him and all that stuff.
And and he's so looking at him and he's like, he's hitting on you, he likes you, and he looks at Tale as if Tale did something, as if Tale is to blame for it. Like, how dare you?
As I said, it doesn't help that like when he tells Tale's like, really? Which is like the worst reaction ever.
Well, he reacts to it like you'd react to a gossip, to a fun gossip.
I think as well the fact that he says me instead of like Tess initially as well, like it just goes down like a lead balloon, like it does not go over well. And holy Batman of product placement in this scene. I was just like, why? And then the way they slammed their drinks on and they just went everywhere. I was like, why did they do that? Like, what was the point?
But then the mirroring thing is cute.
In between all of that, we also got the comment that, we were talking about this earlier, or rather you were, and I was listening intently, was that Quinn confirmed that mech means cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so there we go. Because we discussed that earlier, so we actually got the confirmation there. Anyway. But I don't know why. It's funny that you say cute, because the mirroring scene I actually found extremely painful. I found it like really like cringe, and I don't really know why, because it was kind of cute, I guess. But like, maybe it was because of the product placement. I don't really know, but for some reason, like, I was watching it and I'm going, when is this going to be over? But then, of course, then I got to a point where I went from being like, when is this going to be over? This is painful for me, to yelling at the screen, kiss, at like 2 a.m. in the morning. So, yeah. But I was just like, and then of course we start like heading in that direction, and we had the holy cock block of product placement. Which, like, I was like, of course.
Kiss block.
Yeah. I was like, of course, this is totally where the drink belongs. In between your mouths. Not. So yeah, I was kind of frustrated about that. I'm like, if you want me to drink that drink, people, don't try and stick it in between the kiss. Like, I don't know. I'm sure there's a better option for it. But yeah. And then, of course, we had
Meg calls Tally.
Like,
yeah,
come and meet me at this place to check out the scene, and him saying, "Oh, I'll bring Tan with me," and he's like, "No." And he's like, tells him not to bring Tan, and Pun's face is just like, "See, he's hitting on you. I can't stand it." And he's dying inside. And it was very amusing to me for some reason. But I have to say, like, I love the arch thing at the art gallery, you know, where Perth is waiting for C, and he's like standing under this like architectural kind of like arch.
That gallery is very beautiful overall. Like all the scenes that were filmed there are very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, how do these places exist? Like, it's funny. I feel like people go to Thailand, probably like most tourists go to Thailand for like the beaches and like stuff like that. If I ever go to Thailand, I'm going to these places. I'm going to the
airplane restaurant,
cafe, the cafe with like the restaurant with the swing, and the really cool like art gallery, and there's been a few
the labyrinth.
Well, yeah, like I'm going to these places, like.
Yeah,
you know, I'm you know, I might go to a beach, but like, you know, yeah, I'm going to these places. Like, it's cool. Like, how interesting is some of the architecture and stuff? It's very, very cool. So I got distracted a little bit because I was just like, first off, I was like, wow, Perth is pretty, and then I was like, wow, look at the thing.
Did you notice how it was called? Grailery.
Yeah, clever.
Like VV for wedding, W.
Yeah. They're clever with the plays on this. When they went to go and purchase the tickets, and it was like 3 please, actually 3 please. I was like, Poon's like, ha, not on my watch.
Slow motion a cappella Poon has arrived.
Yeah. He's like, this is just not happening at all. But yeah, and totally what you're saying, like the whole scene where they're walking outside, and I loved how they have the black and white photos on those pillars. I don't know weather-wise how that would actually work for an art gallery, but it looked very cool. And the steps up to like nowhere kind of thing is very interesting as well. I'm guessing that like that it's in itself, like the structure and that in itself is probably part of the art in the gallery, if that makes any sense. And not just used as a display, but it's actually probably like an installation, in itself.
Is it me or does every balcony remind you of Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah, totally.
Integrated in series or movies. A balcony? That's a reference to Romeo and Juliet, obviously.
Well, I feel like it's one of those things. It's so ingrained in like literature history that it's kind of hard to like. I feel like even people who don't really get or don't really know, aren't familiar with Romeo and Juliet or whatever, you know, in depth, are gonna know the balcony scene. Like, if you know nothing else about Romeo and Juliet, you know they kill them. I was gonna say they kill each other. They kill themselves.
You were about to say it, and I in my head was like, yes, just nodding along.
And you know that they do that, and you know that the balcony scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so it's pretty well known. But yeah, I must admit I did think that. But like the line in it where first off, we have to talk about like how hilariously like flirty Perth is in this part of the episode, or rather Perth's character. And I can't help but laugh like on the like with the weird morbid kind of amusement that I have, the fact that Perth's character is meant to be in love with what should be Om's character, or like what Om's character, like one of his besties faces. because I mean, obviously it's C playing the character, but when
Sorry.
he's being paired. So I'm thoroughly amused by that. But anyway, the camera and the when he brings the camera and takes his photo and everything, and he's all like gets all shy. I was just like so amused by all that. But I liked how like, well, not liked, but I thought it was funny how when he's taking photos of C up the stairs and he's like, okay, and he calls like for Pun, and Pun's like, all right, I'm on it, and he's like, no, come here. And then he goes up there and
you're the third wheel.
Yeah, you're the third. Well, I mean, like, when they're walking a line, it was very clear that, like, Pun was in the third wheel role. Like, there was multiple, like, things where, like, it was, like, fate or whatever was telling Pun that he was the third wheel. But when the line, when they're up the top and Mech says to him, I used to hate you, but now I'm madly in love with you, I thought, how convenient that that's a line from the movie that they've written.
But who says that line? Who says that line in the story that they're writing? Who is that?
I used to hate.
Is it a guest character, like another side character called Mech?
Because he says the main female character says the male character, or the male character. Hang on, I don't know. I'm trying to remember, because he says the...
Yeah, because obviously they're imagining, they're looking for a location for some big scene, right? For a confession, for a confession scene. They're looking for a place to film the confession scene for the main characters.
Yeah.
So when was this? The hate? When did this happen? Is he, like, writing lines now? What is going on?
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, was this one of his rewrites? Because you're like, no way did, like, Pun and Tale ever hate each other.
Yeah.
But, it's so funny. Because I was like, when he said that, he's like, oh, and then, I think he said, and then she says the line, or maybe I can't remember. And I was just like, how convenient that is the line, because that's literally him talking to talking to Tess, where he's just like, I used to hate you, but now I love you. And Tully's just like, yeah, this is a good spot. And I like, the further this got along, the more I felt sorry for Perth's character Matt, because I was just like, dude, this is not your life. I'm sorry.
And Pun is scared. Pun is frightened.
Like, I love how he yells out "cut."
Yeah. At first that's the second time he does that, because the first time Mech put his hand on Tale's shoulder when they were looking for a place, and he Pun noticed that, and he was like, guys, look there. Look that way.
I love how when he first, like, turned up and was like 3 tickets, and
so epic of him.
and Max said to him, like, why are you here, sort of thing, and he's like, oh, well, it would just be so boring with just the two of you. Like, he's like, it's gonna be lame, you're not gonna have fun without me. Like, it was so funny. He's like kind of desperate here, but he's such a passive character, like, in some ways, like, which is obviously bleeds in from his previous, like, his existence in our world, where he, like, didn't, like, try and take anything for himself, I guess. Like, on a
didn't take control
anyway.
of his life. Just kind of going with,
like, he tries. Like, he's definitely trying in this. Like, for real, he's like, there's a few moments. But the thing is, the problem is, the reason why his, like, interruptions or whatever don't work, like, is because there's nothing for him to split up. Like, I mean, yes, from Mac's point of view, he's, like, trying something. But, like, Tale is, like, not interested. So he's not, you know
justified.
What I mean? Like, he's not, and he's not responding to Pun's, like, kind of, like, weird desperation, because from his point of view, it's not required. So there's, like, there should be no doubt or whatever. So he's not focused on it, because it's like, it's out of the realm of possibility as far as Tale is concerned. But Quinn doesn't have that, like, he's still insecure because they have not had their, like, I love you, let's be together scene yet at this point anyway. And so, you know, he pushes a few times, gets very little response. And so, like, because it's funny, because there's 3 distinct things happening in this part of the episode. You have Mac, who's all like, oh, he's so pretty, like, I love you, look at this, we're touching each other and holding hands and sharing earbuds, and, like, look how cute we are together, I'm so happy. And then you've got Tale, he's like, oh yeah, this is nice, this is a nice place, this works, how cool is the music? And then you've got Pun, who's going like, he just gotta leave me, he loves somebody else, I might as well go and be by myself in the dark and cry. Like, there's like 3 very separate storylines happening here, and Tale is at the center of it, and he's just like, tra-la-la-la-la. He has, like, 0 concerns either way. And it's not until, like, Pun actually removes himself from the situation, like, fully removes himself from the situation, that Tale is like, wait, hang on a minute, what's going on right now? And sees that there's something wrong. And so I feel like, to a certain extent, it comes down a little bit back to what I've said previously. Wow, I can remember stuff I said previously, so this is good for me. In that, like, he doesn't always listen to what Pun is saying. And so, like, in this respect,
maybe
I don't blame him.
Yeah, in the sense that he hears what he's saying, but he does not understand what Pun wants from him by saying that, why he says the thing that he's saying, because he's obviously looking for reassurance.
Yeah. And he's not, and because of the way Tale feels about him and what he feels about Mech and, like, the situation, they don't marry up. So it doesn't occur to him that there's a problem until there's a problem, you know what I mean? And so I don't blame him for it here, but I do feel it factors into that side of his, like, the slight issue that they have on that respect. But yes, of course, you know, the bit with the earbuds, I must admit, was so funny. It was like a scene from, like, a Korean drama. I swear I've seen it a bunch in Korean dramas, where they do the love triangle thing, and, like, the girl wants something or needs something, and the 2 guys are like, here, have it, you know, like, and poor Pun was just a little too slow. But yeah, so of course he leaves, which him leaving is what gets Tale's attention.
Alarms to go off.
Yeah. Well, I think he's like, you know, he feels more comfortable when he's there, you know, like, it's how they both feel, you know what I mean? Like, he definitely, when he turns up to the museum and it's just Mech there, Mech is all like, oh, this is so good, and Tale's like, yeah, let's just get it over and done with, like, whatever kind of thing. And then when Pun turns up, he's happy, he's enjoying himself, it's interesting, they're working on the thing, they're doing the stuff, you know. The fact that he seems to be more focused with Meg, it's not really that's what's happening, it's just, like, from Tale's perspective, they're working right now, like, this is part of the film, and everything in the film is part of what he gets to do to be with Pun. So it all folds in together for him, you know. So, as I said, there's very different storylines from each character's perspective that's unfolding here. So when he leaves, he feels it, like, it's his absence is felt and noted. But I loved the way they did this. I mean, it's very cliche, this whole idea of, like, Pun, you know, leaving and walking away, and, like, you know he's sad, you know he's listening to sad music, because he did not he put the he was either listening to nothing under the guise of listening to something, or he was listening to sad music. It was one or the other, because he did not scan the QR code to get the music from the museum. So, like,
he was listening to sad music because when Tale takes one of the headphones, he says, "Oh, yeah, sad music."
Like, I know, but before we get to that, like, my thought process was one of those 2 things. Like, he was either listening to nothing or he was listening to sad music. And so the fact that he's, you know, he's either way, he's at that point, my understanding was he's isolating himself, you know what I mean, from the situation, from his environment, from everything. He feels alone, he feels sad, he's, you know, hurt, whatever, disappointed. And then having him walk into that room and then like the lights go out,
enveloped
and
by darkness, black being
right.
Poon's color of
and so
loneliness
not only does he so not only does he feel disappointed and sad and, you know, all those other things, he's now like, he's colored in it as well, you know what I mean? And so
his world turns black.
I was honestly waiting for Tale to come. Like, I figured like Tale would, like, you know, kiss him or something. I thought something would happen in this dark room. Like, honestly, it's the perfect setup for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Tale grabbed him on the shoulder, and we knew it was Tale. Well, you did if you were paying attention because of the bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
I noted the bracelet when he was up on the little Romeo and Juliet balcony, because that's the hand that Mech took a hold of. So I noted the bracelet at the time. So like I knew straight away that it was him. And then, you know, he pulls him around, and as you said, we find out that it's sad music because he takes one of the earbuds and is just like, why? And it's even in this situation, he's baffled. Like, he doesn't really understand what's going on here. Like, he asks him several times about, like, what is his problem kind of thing, because the sad music, he's, like, acting this way. He just left for no reason. And, like, I mean, you know, it's fairly obvious. The audience knows, like, what's going on. Like, we're all just like, he's jealous, he's sad.
No, I think he understands. Well, he knows what's going on. Because he came to talk with him with this soothing, gentle voice. He's trying to coax him to soothe his pain, but he doesn't really know why he's feeling like that. This is what he's asking.
Wrong, yeah, for sure. But the thing is the reason why he doesn't understand, like, what's going on is because it's not something that needs to be worried about. Like, Poon's fear here is not a thing. Like, it's not it's an imagination of like his worst fear, because so Tale can't picture that he's jealous or he's thinks that something is going on or whatever, because Tale is like not thinking that at all. Like, Tale likes him, which we get this lovely scene between them where he says to him about how he likes him even though he doesn't know who he is.
Yeah, but
he doesn't know what he looks like.
I want to talk about the fear a bit, because when Poon explains why he's scared, he says that he's scared he's going to spend time with Mech and then he's going to like him, especially because of the fact that there's another person in the original world that looked like Mech and that Tale liked. And this is a sore spot for him. Remember how when in the first episodes he didn't like people focusing on his appearance? So this is like his insecurity coming back. It's Tale being into the appearance of another person, being plus it's a call from the other world at the same time. So this is a trigger for Poon.
Oh, for sure. Which is why when he says to him, I feel like it's just why when Tale says to him, and it's such a line, like it, and by that I don't mean like with the way when I heard myself saying that, I mean it made it sound like I thought it was like, you know, like a you know, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but yeah, I
like he is not being not being sincere.
Genuine. No, I mean we're in actual fact he's being very genuine, and it's such a line that like it was totally the right thing to say in this moment.
Exactly what Poon needed to hear.
Yeah, that's right. And like him saying that, you know, like, I don't know who you are and I don't know what you look like, and yet I still like you this much. it must be such a salve to like his battered like persona, because as you said, he's so hyper aware of like visually that probably, you know, in the real world, or in our world rather, that people look at him and like him primarily first off the bat because of the fact that of like who he is and what he looks like, and the fact that he's famous. So these two very important things Tale has no idea about, and yet he's still saying, I choose you. And as you said, he chooses him over somebody who clearly or is expressing that he likes him, that it comes from a familiar like place, in that he looks like this other person, where there were feelings once upon a time. But he kind of answers his own fear a little bit earlier in the episode when he says about when Tale first tells him about Mork, is that he says about how he had the crush, and Pun says something about, you said you hadn't been in love or whatever, and he's like, he says something like it was just a crush, or he says something like that. I can't quite remember. And so Tale has already sort of told him that it wasn't that deep. Like, it was like, you know, it was a high school flirtation, or a high school, you know what I mean? Like, it's not in a line with what's going on between them, if that makes any sense. And so he has actually already told him that. So this is another thing where they have this communication error where they're not 100%, it's not they're not being honest, it's just that they're not clear with each other when they say stuff. Like, you know, this is in this instance, you know, he says to him, I like you, like this, he's essentially saying, I choose you in this
and
moment.
He also says, I don't like people for their appearances. Yeah, so he clears things up. It's like, no. You shouldn't judge me like that.
It's a funny situation too, because I mean, like, while this scene was happening, because my brain is weird, as we know. Listeners, you know my brain is weird, so don't be shocked. But like, it was going, like, while this like super romantic scene's happening, my brain is like going off on this like tangent where it's like, yeah, this is an interesting thought. Like, obviously it's got nothing to do with this show, because we know who Pun is in the other world already. But like, as far as Tale's concerned, he has no idea. Like, he has no idea what he looks like, how old he is, you know, any of these.
You know what?
Like
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but you just said that, and I was like, that would have been such an interesting way to tell this story if they didn't show us that scene at the beginning, if we didn't know who he was as well.
That's right, because he could be like if we didn't know that, like, and Tale, like, for all Tale knows, he's like a 50-year-old woman. I mean, he's not, obviously, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, all he knows is like what he's gotten to know, because Pun has not let him know anything else. You know what I mean? And so it's like it could have been the ultimate catfish. In that, you know, like, you fall in love with this person and they are really not what you thought they were. But in this, you know, I mean, he's lucky the guy he falls in love with is a really handsome actor. But, you know, like, that's not what it's about for him. You know what I mean? It's this way that they are able to be there for each other, and just everything else that has made them like each other the way they do. But so I really liked the way they did that. I liked the fact that on the response to that, Pun also like put his cards on the table and was like, I like you too. And I love how he says to him, I like everything about you, like literally everything. He's like, it's all, give it to me, I want all the bits and pieces.
The acting, Jimmy's acting here, his reaction, the trembling voice, the expression on his face, as if that thing that Deli just said means the world to him. That's just everything that he wanted. It's just so beautiful.
The tears are beautiful too, because they're like a release of fear, but also like he's crying because like literally Tale just said the most amazing, beautiful thing to him. You know, from his perspective, like someone else might be like, whatever, but like that, because of his hang-ups and everything, like that is like the best, most, you know, perfect thing for him.
Yeah, because it's like he just revealed his, like, one of his biggest vulnerabilities, one of his biggest fears, and Tale basically told him or reassured him that he does not need to be scared of that with him.
Yeah.
He will protect him from that fear, in a way.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we finally get the kiss. And we didn't even have to push their heads together. So, yay, go off. And I have to say, like, what a kiss. Like, honestly. But I while they were kissing as well, once again, the brain doing the thing that it does when it's me, is I'm watching them kiss and I'm like, oh, how is this going to pan out with Mac? I'm like, is this going to affect their movie? Which is so not important right now, brain. My brain is just, like, weird. So, of course, I had to watch the kiss scene again because I had to turn the brain off so that I could just enjoy the beauty of the scene, which was a very nice kiss. And, of course, the second time I'm watching it, as Pun steps in to Tale, he drops his bag off his shoulder, and, like, of course, the second time I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, I hope the camera's okay. It's a fictitious story, Zoe. The camera is fine. the camera in his bag that they were taking photos with.
During the kiss, the camera has plot armor. It's fine. Yeah, it's right.
Good. That's right. So then I was like, okay, no, seriously now, Zoe, you need to turn your brain off.
How many times have you watched it?
I had to watch the kiss for a third time. I can safely say the third time I paid attention, and it was a lovely kiss. But yeah, and then the trailer for next time I thought was really, really interesting because we get a snippet of, obviously it's meant to be Tun's birthday, I think. Which, what a weird concept. It'd be interesting to know whether or not, like, and I'm guessing, I don't know whether we find this out or not, but, like, this idea of, like, are their birthdays the same time? Do you know what I mean? Like, does Pun and Tun share a birthday?
Are you asking me?
No, I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because I was like, if not, what a weird concept to celebrate someone else's birthday. I mean, like, I'm all for it. I love my birthday. I'm like, yes, bring me presents. Nah, but I'm just kidding. It's funny. I have always loved my birthday, but I hate, like, birthday parties and birthday, like, if people gather around and sing happy birthday to me, I, like, peace out while no one's looking. Everyone's looking at the cake and I've disappeared because I feel so awkward when that happens. But I like my birthday. But yeah, so it would be so weird though to celebrate someone else's birthday as that person. Like, I can't imagine how weird that would be. But we get a hint for the next episode where he does the wish, and I think Tale says to him, what did you wish for? And he says that he wanted to be in that universe for as long as possible. And I was like, finally, he's going to be honest with Tale about, like, what his actual feelings are. And obviously he's doing this because he now feels like he's in this place where he's comfortable, where he's safe because of what's just happened in this episode. But interesting that this is a trigger for Tale to be like, what the hell is his life like back in their world? Like, what's so bad that he wants to stay here?
Episode 9 is one of my favorite, if not my favorite episode of Vice Versa.
I can see. I think it's like, just from the trailer, I'm just like, oh, it looks interesting. Yeah, obviously we're getting to that. We're getting to it's like the same with Not Me. We're getting to the pointy end of the stick now. And by that I mean, like, the culmination of all these things that have been coming for the last, like, 8 episodes. And it's going to come to a head. There's going to be drama, there's going to be trauma, and then there's going to be, hopefully, lovely, happy, fulfilling, life-affirming endings. We know for Not Me that we get that anyway. But for Vice Versa, I'm hoping that's the case. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed this episode. It was a good episode.
The kiss scene was so really, very nicely done, I think.
I'm so happy that we got a kiss. It's funny because we were talking about it earlier, and I was saying about, like, how with the licking of the cake and how in Thai dramas it doesn't really happen in public or around friends or, like, whatever. So it's interesting that they've done it here in public, but it's, like, in the dark.
Yeah, it's like Tale responded to Plin's need, as he always does. And there are these small, like, details, and I think it's really nice how they made the lights go off.
Yeah.
And Bex noticed the painting on the wall. It was something that, like, was a mirroring thing. It was symmetrical from the middle. And also she had some clever thoughts about headphones and bags. Where are you? I don't remember. Something about headphones.
Oh.
I remember she said something interesting, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was so many aspects to it. I'm sure if my brain was working better, and I feel like this sounds like I'm making an excuse because I always say that my brain doesn't work, and it usually is like, you know, any given time it's at about 85%. At the moment it's about 40% functionality. I feel like there was a few things that niggled to me when I was watching them, but like I didn't make any notes, and they were like, you know, when you have like an idea or a thought or like something occurs to you, but it's like on the periphery and you can't really grab a hold of that like thought or the concept or whatever. So I had several of those while I was watching this episode. So I may have to watch this episode at another point in time when I have
that's me all the time.
More faculties working. Yeah. And I might have other like things that I might be like, oh, yeah, I wanted to talk about this, or I noticed that this was like this and I thought this or whatever, because I'm actually surprised at how well I've done, if I'm being perfectly honest. I thought this was going to be a podcast of me going like, Morella, you talk. Instead, I feel like I've talked a lot and I'm like, I feel like I haven't let you get much. I feel like I'm like doing all the talking and I'm not letting you talk, so I should shut up. But
it's okay. I like the fact that you have a lot to say, and it's obviously your first time and you're
animated, excited,
exactly. Yeah, see, you're complaining about your brain and I cannot get one word out. Come on.
But I'm like, I know
you're excited.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's more there that I would like to talk about if I had watched this in a different situation.
See, like, here's the thing. This series gets so much better on a rewatch. And you can already feel it, can't you?
Well, I know with this episode for sure. Like, there was certain... And I feel like maybe last episode as well, but I don't know that I'll ever be able to watch last episode again. Well, at least not on YouTube.
Yeah, no.
If you want, guys, if you want to watch it, if you're trying to watch it, Vicky has it with the sub, like, linked to the audio, so it's great. But yeah, I couldn't do that to myself. That was hard. But yeah, this episode for sure. I think there was one earlier on as well that I feel like I'd would like to watch the green episode again. I think it was the green episode, sometime too. So, but. You know, what do they say? So many shows, so little time. Honestly,
and you see, isn't this fun? We have a kiss like this in episode 8 of Not Me, and also in vice versa.
Yeah. And they're both pretty good kisses. Like, and how different are they? Like, you know, the kiss in Not Me is that beautiful golden hour kiss, which Pinucci like lit up, you know, with the setting sun, and it's just gorgeous in its coloring. And then we have this kiss, which happens in the dark, but it's like, it feels so warm at the same time. It's both very well done.
I agree.
All right. Well, I don't really have anything else to say except for hopefully by the time we watch the next episode, my medication will have left my brain and it will be able to function better. I mean, as I said, it's usually only at about 85% normally anyway, so who are we kidding?
I have no justification. I'm just like, oh, maybe somehow I'll become more clever, like smarter by the next episode, but I don't think so. So
your brain is brilliant. Stop being like that. So, yeah. I'm your biggest fan, so I'm sure people listen to us and just like, shut up, Zoe, Morella was trying to say something. Because sometimes my brain says that to me while we're talking. It's like, shut up.
I cannot wait for us to talk about episode 9. I cannot wait.
Yes, well, we have episode 9 of Not Me and episode of vice versa.
So
the next couple will be interesting. Yeah. I'm dreading episode 10 of Not Me as much as it's such a triggering episode for me, but it is such a good episode. what is episode 10 of Vice Versa like? In terms of like, is it a triggering episode? Is it a hard? Is it just? I just heard a little noise from you there. What was it? Was that a laugh? When I asked if it's a triggering episode. Will there be trauma inflicted on Zoe with episode 10 of Vice Versa? That is the question. Do I need to prepare myself?
Well, something significant does happen in episode 10. But that's all that I'm going to say.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was thinking about it, and so if this is 12 episodes, we've got 9, 10, 11, 12, obviously we have 4 episodes left. They're going to have to go back at some point, so, and I think I have questioned, but you didn't say, because I didn't want you to, and also you didn't want to tell me whether or not they went back at the same time. So depending on if they went back at the same time, it could be that, you know, someone is going to go back sooner rather than later. So I'm curious to see how that all pans out. But I'm also really curious to see that when they get back to their other universe, if Pun remembers Tale from, like, you know, at the beginning where they first met in the bathroom and where they met on set again. I'm curious to know if he remembers him from those moments or not, because he was so in his own head back then, like busily torturing himself, or whether or not this like bright, you know, creature stood out to him there as well, you know, as a light in his darkness, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
a fleeting light in his darkness. So I'm curious to see how that will all pan out in the coming episodes. But I feel like I probably don't really have anything else to say except for probably just repeating myself a bunch. So I think I'm done, unless you've got anything else you wanted to say.
Nope.
Where is the time to say anything that you wanted to say when I wouldn't shut up earlier?
See, I have nothing interesting to say, I think.
I feel like you said lots of interesting things. But yeah, I'm curious now as well, because we were talking about... See, now I'm going back again. But we're finished, but wait, there's more. When, you know, you were talking about Mech and Mork's names and stuff, and you were saying about Day being, you know, obvious, and then Mork, the meaning of Mork, and then we found out Mech is cloud. So yeah, if anyone knows what Mork actually means, if it has a meaning in Thai, I would love to know.
Mork?
What did you think it meant? Yeah.
I think it's the same meaning.
You think it has the same meaning as...
Yeah, because the Tumblr, at least based on the Tumblr post, but Tumblr post was made for Last Twilight, not for Vice Versa. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, if that's the case, let us know, because I'm curious. And it's interesting, if Mork does mean cloud, then that just adds a whole other more depressing connotation to Jimmy's character in Last Twilight. It just makes it sadder.
I discovered I must limit myself to one sentence when it comes to Last Twilight, so that I don't get triggered again.
I know, right?
So that's all that I'm going to say right now. Yeah, that was my sentence.
Yeah, I noticed that the other day. Funnily enough, I saw a post, and they were talking about, I can't remember what they were talking about, something completely unrelated to GMM shows, and all of a sudden someone started talking about Last Twilight, and I'm like, nope, I'm out. I was like, I stopped reading the post like midway through. I was just like, today is a good day.
Let's not ruin it.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not ready yet. I haven't prepared myself.
Well, okay then. This is it. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Before we spiral again.
Share our podcast with people who think might be interested, and goodbye for now.